Sometimes the hardest part of doing a video is setting up the tripod for the camera. Like, why is it so complicated? Anyway, hi guys, it's Nicole. Welcome to another video. Today is Tuesday. I thought it'd be a good idea to start a weekly reading vlog. I have attempted to start a number of vlogs over the past few days. I've had 4 days off. This is my 4th day off in a row, and I wanted to do like a weekend reading vlog, then I wanted to do a 24-hour readathon vlog. They did not go. They did not happen. I've had a lot on recently with work, and I've had a lot of work related anxiety. Like last week I got held back a lot. I finished like pretty much every shift, and I've kind of changed my roles a little bit at work. I've got a more responsibility, and we're also just very short staffed, so it's just been very stressful. And I was so stressed my first couple of days off. Yesterday I really took the time to like recharge, so I'm feeling a lot better. But I also just want to get a lot of reading done and kind of use my reading and filming this vlog as a little bit of an escape for when work is stressing me out. I'm also back at uni. I'm only doing one subject at the moment because it is summertime here, or almost summertime, so it's just one summer unit, but still that's like another thing on my plate. Okay, let's not get into that. That's not a fun way to start a vlog, going into all the nitty-gritty stuff happening in my life. But I did want to like point that out in case I seem off at all in this video, like not just now but maybe like later on. I just have like a lot of stuff happening, and it does trigger anxiety sometimes, especially new stuff. New territory stuff is like a huge trigger for me, and I'm trying to cope. But I also got the motivation to start filming a vlog because I started reading a book on Sunday. I've almost finished it now, and I'm really having a fantastic time reading it. On Sunday I was going to do a 24-hour readathon with Tammy. We did do a live reading sprint on my channel, and that went really well. I read a lot in that, but I just didn't continue doing a readathon. The book I picked up during our live reading sprints is The Song of the Marked. This is a book I just came across on the Kindle app on my iPad. If you have Amazon Prime, you're able to download it for free, and I just sort of saw it. I read over a little bit of the synopsis. It sounded kind of interesting, so I picked it up on a whim during that live reading sprint, and I'm really enjoying this. It is exactly what I'm in the mood for. It's sort of like a fantasy romance sort of story. There hasn't been a whole lot of romance that's happened yet. There was like the first couple of chapters, but then we've kind of gone off into the story and nothing too much has happened. This book is set in a world where there's this sickness that plagues a lot of people and kills them. The origins of the sickness is unknown, but some people can survive. It is very, very rare, and our main character has survived, and she survived for 13 years. So usually when people survive, they don't survive for too long of a period after having the sickness, but this girl has, so she is unusual in that sense, and she's marked by the sickness, or from having the sickness. Her hair is now pale and her eyes are also pale. So like people who have had the sickness, they start to get these features. They're called fade marked if they've had the sickness. So the king has always tried to gather these fade marked people, and he takes them to the palace, and nothing's really known what happened to them, just that those people disappear. And as a child, the main character Cassia, she is almost captured. We are now in a situation where Cassia was found by the guards of the king, and she's now been taken in and is kind of having to work in service for the king, sort of against her will. I will say, I think the one thing I don't like about this character is she's way too gullible and trusting, where I don't think she should be. Like I said, today's my last day off. I don't have too much to do. I'm just trying to do a lot of washing. Main mission for today, which is a huge mission, is all these books. I am going to finally attempt to film my unhaul video. I attempted it like once, probably like a week and a half ago now, and I just, or maybe even 2 weeks ago, maybe longer than that, I don't know, but I've been avoiding it. It intimidates me a lot. Like there's so many books here, but I've figured out how I want to film it now. I'm really hoping that I can film it all in one go, like just today, because I'm not going to have time for the rest of the week because of work and stuff. I don't have another day off until Saturday. I am so intimidated by this, so please wish me luck. Another reason I am sort of filming this vlog is I decided if this unhaul filming fails, or if I can't get the editing done in time, this vlog will go up before. So I'm hoping that I can get the unhaul up for my next video, but if not, this is a backup. Just FYI. Hi guys, it is hours later. I've been filming this unhaul. The mess on the floor, like, let me just show you. And these are all the books I still got to talk about.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would...
I was intimidated before filming this video, and now I'm just exhausted. Before filming today, I was debating about doing like 2 parts of this unhaul, and then I was like, no, I just want to do like one video and then get it out of the way. But now I'm like, maybe I should do more than one part because this is a lot. And the thing is, I was thinking about it as I was taking these books down from their stacks here, is I have to actually go through and sort through what I'm giving away to charity and what I'm giving away to people I know. And like, I've got nowhere else to put the books. So as soon as I take them from the couch, they're just on the floor. This is too much. I own too many books. Let's acknowledge this problem. Oh my god. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have some water and then I might just explain myself in the video and be like, hey, we're gonna just come back to this. I just realized I've lost my phone. It is somewhere here in this pile. I've lost my phone in a pile of books. Have you heard anything more ridiculous? It's Thursday evening now. It's almost, well, it is 9:30. It's late. I'm tired. I had 2 very full days of work today and yesterday, and I have an update. I have a couple of updates. I finished The Snow of the Mark and I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it a 3.75, rounded up to a 4 stars on Goodreads. I thought this was a really solid read. I just had so much fun. I think what I loved about it was it was so action-packed. There was always something happening. The story was moving really well. I think it was really well paced. I'm trying not to be too nitpicky these days with my books because I used to do that. And I think I realized that really towards the end of last year when I was reading, I was always trying to look for things to critique and negative things, like bad things about the book that I didn't like that I could critique because I don't know, it felt like that would make me a critical reader, but it ended up sucking a lot of the joy out of reading for me, and I think that's why, especially this year, I just haven't read. I didn't want to read for a really long time. Yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, there were definitely things that I think were a little bit annoying. Like, I think the protagonist was way too trusting, and I think with the main couple, I loved their setup, but I didn't actually love the characters themselves. There's like a few things, but I'm trying to look more in books for what I like and what I am enjoying and focusing on those things rather than trying to find things to nitpick about. I definitely plan to continue on, and hopefully sometime soon, because the ending was actually so good. So good. It just had a lot of things I loved as well. A lot of the magic is to do with the gods and a lot of the issues happening in the human world. So there's like the sickness, and that's like the main issue. It's all to do with the gods, and like gods meddling with humans is my favorite trope. Like, I just love seeing that in fantasy books. I think it's so fun and it creates a lot of interesting dynamics and conflicts. I also want to talk to you about my audiobook that I'm not too far into, but I'm really enjoying. It is Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. I haven't read anything by C.L. Polk. They have been on my radar for probably a few years, and yeah, I wanted to pick this up. It's their latest release. This book is set in like an alternate 1940s Chicago, and we follow our main character who takes like photos of like crime scenes and such, and she is like a magician or warlock of sorts, and she takes crime scenes that are related to like crime that's been done by magical beings, from my understanding at the moment. It's also sapphic, and there's also dealings with the devil, which is another one of my favorite tropes. I love anything to do with like deals with the devil and the consequences of that, and it's also good. How far into it am I? Let me hang on. Okay, so there's 5 parts and I'm in the middle of part 2, so I'm really not too far in. Tonight I think I'm probably gonna have an early night, to be honest, because I have an early shift and I'm pretty tired, so I need my rest. But I did start, before I started this reading vlog, I started reading Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, and I want to continue with that. I only read the first couple of chapters and I was really liking it. I'm kind of in the mood for it. It's been really hot here, and now today, this evening, it started raining, and like I just love a cool change. Like, there's nothing better than a cool change, and one that comes with rain. It's like the most refreshing thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get all cozy and read Poison Study. Oh, I need to tell you the plot of that. I'm doing such a terrible job with this update, apologies. But Poison Study is a YA fantasy series. It follows a girl who has been imprisoned for a couple of years. You just know that she has murdered someone and she's awaiting her execution. The day of her execution is when the book starts, and she is taken out of her prison cell and she thinks she's being taken to where she's going to get. But instead she's taken to like an office room, and she sits down with this commander, and this commander gives her an option to either go through with the execution or become a poison tester, food tester for poisons. She takes that option, so now she's just getting used to her new life as a food taster for poisons. I'm gonna leave this clip here because I'm too much of a disaster to be on camera right now. I just want to give some updated thoughts on Poison Study. Our main character, she's being kept in check basically by the man training her, because he gives her a dose of poison every single day with her meal, and it's a poison that takes a little while to manifest, so she won't die from it as long as she gets the antidote in time. And so he forces her to do work and to study poisons and to try other poisons and to know how to identify other poisons and make sure that she's learning things properly and well by making her take a dose of poison every day. And if she runs away or doesn't obey, then she won't get the antidote, so then she'll die. Like, a really intense situation here. I like it. It's Saturday night. I have a couple of updates. First of all, I finished the audiobook of Even Though I Know the End. I loved this. I definitely want to read more by C.L. Polk. Their writing is phenomenal. It's very much a book that's about the vibes. I loved like just how much the main character cared for the people around her. She has a younger brother and she also has her love interest, Edith. I think my only thing is it's so short. Like I wish there was more. There's so much I would have loved to have seen, especially in this world. The story follows our main character Helen, who's been hired as an investigator of sorts to track down a serial killer. She has a history of being hired as a investigator, and she does have some magical talents she uses to aid her in her investigations. I also loved how female centric this was. We just had these really cool collection of badass women as our characters, like just all these females. There was hardly like any males, and it was a fun time. But this was a really short book and I just really wanted it to be longer, so I gave it like a 3.5 stars in the end, rounded up to 4 on Goodreads. Is that too harsh? I'm not gonna think too much about it, but just know I did really enjoy it. Definitely going to pick up more by C.R. Polk, hopefully soon, like hopefully before the end of the year, but knowing me, that's probably not gonna happen quite just yet. I've been reading more of Poison Study. Now, I actually own the book, but I have been preferring to read this on my iPad. It's another book you can download for free if you have Amazon Prime. You can download it on the Kindle app. And since I finished The Song of the Mark earlier in the week, I've just really been enjoying at night to read on my Kindle app on my iPad rather than having a physical book in hand. So I've been trying to prioritize reading the physical copy when I can, because I feel like I should since I own it. But in all honesty, I've been reading this mostly on my iPad, and I'm not even up to date with where I've marked I am in the book. I'm further in on the iPad. Whoops, nearly dropped it. Yeah, I'm further in the iPad than I am in the book. I'm loving this book so much. It has been a bit of a slow read just because I've kind of been keeping this as my evening read, so I've been reading it when I get in from work at night, and I haven't had as much energy to read as much as I would like. But I find Yelena to be a very fascinating character. Yelena was an orphan. She was raised in the general, or one of the generals in this world's household, and then became one of his adopted children, and then she killed his son. It's kind of hinting at like the son was a bit of a psychopath, like that's the flashback sort of vibe. And this general, he works for the commander. Now the commander is who she's now a food taster for. We've got like a really good setup here. The person who was training her to be a food taster for poisons, he is an assassin and he works for the commander in this world. And so while there's no one else working as a food taster, he has to take on the job, which he, you know, he doesn't want that job, so he's going to pass it along to Yelena once she's fully trained. But he's like, doesn't want her to get killed by the general or the general's men, so he's like, you can sleep in my suite. We'll set up an extra bed for you. And that's the situation we have happening. So I'm like, I am keeping my eye out for this romance developing, because I am kind of vibing it. I'm really vibing this setup. I'm liking these characters. I want to see it happen.